vitals aren't looking good. You need to pack up and leave as soon as you can. You're risking your life from this point on.
Images and video clips used in this video are owned entirely by the copyright holders. Snagglepuss111 makes no claim of ownership and simply uses the information for purposes of education, commentary and criticism under fair use. Welcome to the Ghost Chasers comparison video. I'm your host Snagglepuss111 and today we will be comparing Phasmophobia and Ghost Exorcisms Inc., or as it was previously known as Ghost Hunters Corp. Check out some basic game functions. In Phasmophobia, you get 3 pieces of evidence are required to identify the ghost. You can only carry 3 items at a time and only use 1 item at a time. Virtual reality players can use 2 items at the same time. The equipment is capped. You're only given 3 to 4 seconds of stamina and you die instantly if you are caught. You are given sanity, which will influence the hunt. The ghost cannot kill you outside. You are restricted to how many devices you can turn on before tripping the breaker. The ghost will only reveal itself during a hunt or an event. Any item you add to the lobby will have to be repurchased after the map is completed. As a ghost, you can pick up plates, cups, mugs or cutlery. You cannot interact with the environment. There are interactive cursed items that can impact the ghost. For Exorcisms Inc., there's 5 pieces of evidence required for an exorcism. You can carry 3 items and levitate a 4th item. You can use 2 items together in both hands. The equipment is not capped. You are given 8 to 9 seconds of stamina and 2 to 3 seconds of health before you die. No sanity is required. The ghost can kill you outside. The only safe place is the van. You're not restricted by lights or devices, but light bulbs will blow over time. The ghost will appear and disappear constantly. All items are returned to you if you successfully exorcise a ghost. You can kick people from the lobby and in-game. And as a ghost, you can pick up any item that turns red and even pick up your team's items to help along with the investigation. There are invisible cursed items that you need to find. So let's recap on the basic game functions. For Phasmophobia, there's 3 pieces of evidence required to eliminate 21 different ghost possibilities. For a suspenseful game, that is really good. The fact that you're only able to use 1 item is unfair to PC players. Only having 3 to 4 seconds of stamina isn't really good if the ghost spawns next to you and it's a revenant or a raiju. Your chances of survival are 0% without a smudge stick. Turning on the breaker is a pain as you are restricted by how many lights you can use. When the breaker is tripped, you have to go find the breaker again and then you've got to return on all the lights in the house. The ghost revealing itself during an event or a hunt keeps the game suspenseful, which is really good for a game of its making. When you add items prior to starting the map, all items have to be repurchased. That is very costly, especially if you're only one person that's supplying all the equipment. Being able to kick players from the game doesn't work, because we do have trolls, and you know what trolls are like. Not being able to kick them is wrong. I don't know if it's a glitch or whether the Phasmophobia team just don't care. The cursed items are different in Phasmophobia as they are interactive and influence the ghost and player. So things like the Ouija board, you can ask the ghost where it is. The tarot cards can either kill the player or bring a player back to life, play with their sanity, etc, etc. In Ghost Exorcisms, there's 5 pieces of evidence required to successfully start an exorcism. The fact that you can carry 3 items and levitate a 4th item at the same time is absolutely brilliant, considering at the start of the map, you should have a crucifix, a Virgin Mary statue, and of course the instant camera. You're given 8 to 9 seconds of stamina and 2 to 3 seconds of health before you die. For a game where the ghost can chase you all the way to the van, in some maps in Exorcism they are extremely big. And to have that long stamina chase and the 2 to 3 seconds of extra health is really, 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 really helpful. There's no sanity required, as the ghost can hunt at any time. The ghost can kill you outside, the only safe place is a van. You're not restricted by lights or devices, but light bulbs will blow over time. The ghost will appear and disappear constantly. Now, for this, it is, some people say it's wrong, the fact that, oh, look, you can see the ghost, it's not going to do anything, blah, blah, blah. In Exorcisms Inc., the ghost is designed to jump scare you. It will hide behind rocks, it'll hide behind trees, it'll hide behind doors, just to get you whenever it can. And when the ghost appears and disappears, you can see it maybe walking 300 or 400 meters ahead of you, it's walking through a door. You start walking towards, and then all of a sudden your screen will start warping and you're like, what? You turn around, the ghost is trying to kill you. That's why they have that function. It's to create the illusion that the ghost doesn't care. When you successfully complete an exorcism, all the items are returned to you except the defense weapon. As a ghost, you can pick up any item that turns red. Checking out some item usages now. I'm not going to read the entire list, but I am going to break it down for you. With Phasmophobia, you have the basic surveillance cameras, which you can sit on either benches or on tripods. The tripods have to be purchased differently. The cameras have infrared mode and standard mode. In Ghost Exorcisms Inc., there's two sets of surveillance cameras. You've got your basic surveillance cameras, and you've also got your high-def cameras. The high-def cameras can be controlled from the van rotating at 360 degrees up or down. In Phasmophobia, you use DOTS projector to detect a ghost. In Ghost Exorcisms Inc., you use the MEL unit that detects the cursed items and the entity, OCC, and temperature of the ghost. So it's a 3-in-1 device. The spirit box is the same in Phasmophobia. If you get no response from the spirit box, you can cross it out. In Ghost Exorcisms Inc., the spirit box has 3 different settings. It's got spirit box EVP, spirit box on-site radio, and of course ghostly voice on site. So you have 3 different options. The flashlights are basically the same. You've got your basic ones in Phasmophobia and you've got your strong ones. In Ghost Exorcisms Inc., there's 4 different types of flashlights. Phasmophobia has UV flashlights to reveal invisible fingerprints or footsteps, and the UV sticks work the same except with a radius. In Ghost Exorcisms Inc., those flashlights are not required because a standard camera will pick up any invisible items on the walls or on the floors, because a ghost can be anywhere at any time. It does not matter. In Phasmophobia, you get sanity pills, you get smudge sticks. You can also use it as a shotgun as well, so you can buy the shotgun, put the salts in it and use it as a weapon, just like they would out of the Supernatural series. So now we're moving on to the comparisons between the game layout. So on Phasmophobia, you can see we've got a whiteboard. On Ghost Exorcisms Inc., we have a tablet. Now let's check out the journal for Phasmophobia. In Phasmophobia, you're given a journal which contains everything you need to successfully complete the game. Whilst the journal is open, you cannot move, which puts you at a major disadvantage should the ghost decide to attack. You've got your Home tab, which will give you an outline of everything that's going on. You've got your Items tab, which will show you all the items you purchased. You've got the Overview tab. You've also got your Photo section, which put all the different photos. You've got your Evidence tab, which will give you the evidence section where you tick or cross out what different sorts of evidence you gather. You've got your ghost tabs, which will give you a couple of paragraphs based different types of ghosts there are and what sort of evidence is required to either eliminate them or add them to the evidence section. In Ghost Exorcisms Inc., you use a tablet, which is your only means of successfully completing the game. If you open your tablet whilst in a map and you are outside of a defensive area, which is normally covered by a Mary statue, it's more than most likely you're going to get killed. It is not safe to open your tablet anywhere except inside the van. You've got your Ghostpedia icon. That is where you gather all your evidence and choose what category of ghost you find, and also where you determine what sort of exorcisms need to be performed. Your Ghost Market is for buying items at the start of each match before you actually go into the game. Let's check out the in-game view gathering evidence area. In Phasmophobia, identifying the evidence will determine what sort of entity dwells in that location. As you can see from the book, there's 7 pieces of evidence you need: EMF level 5, fingerprints, ghost writing, freezing temperatures, dots projectors, ghost orbs, or spirit box. In Ghost Exorcisms Inc., you've got the digital tablet. It's got the 5 pieces of evidence and the ghost category. So you've got electromagnetic field, you've got the entity scan, the temperature near the entity, the written evidence, audio proof, and the category of ghost. Okay, let's check out the gameplay comparison. We'll be comparing the graphics between Phasmophobia and Ghost Exorcisms Inc. On Phasmophobia, we'll be doing the Willow Street house amateur level, and on the Ghost Exorcisms Inc. will be using the USA Family House Simple Contract. Now we've compared the graphics, let's check the death animations. Here we go. In Phasmophobia I did hide and seek. In Ghost Exorcisms, we're up against a child ghost. So as you can see, the animations are pretty cool. I do like the Phasmophobia death scene better, but Ghost Exorcism does have a different variety of deaths every time you get killed based on what sort of ghost you're dealing with. I don't have the time to show them all this time around. We are looking at the vehicle graphics and functions. The first one here is Ghost Exorcisms Inc. As you can see, you've got a lovely RV. Looks very modern, but on top it looks high tech. It's got the radars and everything else you'd need to detect ghosts. Inside, the van looks a lot more modern as well. On the left side, on the bottom picture there, on the left side, you can see there's 3 screens for the cameras. You're not restricted to one little computer. At the back, you've got the boxes where you spawn all the equipment. Up front, you've got the driver's area, and you've also got the cages where you can, all the simple equipment is spawned. It looks a lot more modern. You know, it's got servers, it's got interaction screens. In Phasmophobia, you can see down the bottom right corner picture, we've got the picture of the truck. On the bottom left, you can see we've got the 4 screens and of course the interaction whiteboard. On the top left, we've got a little computer that handles everything. Of course, the shells at the top right where everything is spawned. Okay, moving on to the final comparison. In Phasmophobia, the graphics are spectacular. There's 20 different ghosts to identify, 10 maps to choose from, 4 difficulty levels, 12 different objectives to complete, 3 to 4 seconds of stamina, 8 different character models, VR capable, 3 pieces of evidence to find, cannot move dead players' bodies, 19 different items to gather evidence, and all items are capped, and team ghosts can only interact with mugs and cutlery. Phasmophobia is a modern game. It looks very amateur-like, especially when you start off in the lobby. You're in a garage. It looks like a bunch of kids have just finished school and said, hey, you know what, let's go become ghost hunters. It doesn't feel professional. Equipment from the 80s. Ghost Exorcisms Inc. You've got the graphics are spectacular. There's 6 ghost categories, 8 maps to choose from, 2 difficulty levels, long or short contracts, 8 objectives to complete, 15 different forms of exorcisms, 8 to 9 seconds of stamina, 2 to 3 seconds of health, 5 different character models, it's not currently VR capable, 5 pieces of evidence to find, players' bodies can be picked up by other players, 20 different items to gather evidence, no items are capped, team ghosts can interact with the environment, and can also interact with team objects. It's a modern looking game, uses high-tech equipment. In the RV it has servers, it's got interactive displays, interactive whiteboards, it's got everything. The headquarters looks professional. Everything is in glass cabinets of all the cursed items they've accumulated over the years. It does have a more professional feel about it. The thing that doesn't do it for me for Phasmophobia is the fact that you can't do anything as a dead person. You can't move dead bodies, so you never get the money for the insurance, which is part of the money process. The fact that the items are capped, and the fact you've only got 3 to 4 seconds of stamina, it doesn't make me want to keep playing it. You've got 4 difficulty levels is phenomenal. There's no reason to have that many levels. You can have amateur, you can have professional and nightmare. There's no need to have an intermediate level. In Ghost Exorcisms, I think the objectives are a lot easier, and you have to do 8 objectives in the game. The graphics are great, there's only 6 ghost categories to choose from, but that's all you need to choose. The whole part of the game is not identifying the ghost, a part of the game is exorcising the ghost. And to do that you need the 5 pieces of evidence. Their bodies can be picked up by other players and returned to the truck so they don't lose their equipment. There's 20 different items you can use to gather evidence. not just to look for objectives. The items are not capped, so if you run out of items, you can spawn more if you need to. As Team Ghost, you can interact with the environment, the team's items, and help on along with the investigation. This is Snagglepuss111, and you can consider these games compared. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you in the future for more comparison videos.